Alright everyone, who is ready for another video in the tips and tricks playlist here on YouTube from Byerly Studios. Now when I was varnishing this acrylic painting of Charmander the Pokemon, full video linked above, this is a highlight clip of the issues that I ran into. There were two issues that I had during the varnishing process of this painting. One is I had applied too much of a flood coat that kind of dripped over the edges, and I had drips on the back of the canvas. They kind of bugged me, and I had already given about maybe 15 to 20 minutes to set up, and they were still very, very white. I was unsure whether or not these were going to dry clear. Now this is a Liquitex Satin Varnish. It's not glossy, it's not matte, it's kind of in between. So I just really wasn't sure whether these were going to dry kind of white like they were displaying here, or if they were going to clear up. And I was able really to find any kind of source material online that I liked, whether will it or will it not dry clear. We're going to answer that in this video in some ways. I'm sure there's a lot of different variables that would attribute to this. However, we're going to just kind of give a general answer here. So as you can see here, I let it sit up overnight and it did clear up quite a bit. You can kind of see that just because of how raised those drips are, they are much more glossy than the surrounding area, which had just a small thin coat of the varnish on it. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do two things. One, I'm missing a little bit of Mars Black from where I had laid the canvas down here. I'm wondering whether or not we can touch that up with a little bit of Mars Black acrylic over the existing varnish, and then do another varnish layer over that, and would that kind of touch up that black paint? So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out some Mars Black. And in short, yes, I'm able to touch it up. This isn't a whole lot of paint, so I really don't have to worry too much about it. If I was applying a lot of different shades and variations in paints, then this may change. However, I was able to touch it up with just a simple single color. I let that dry for a little while, and then we're just going to add another flood coat to the back of the canvas here, kind of just along the edge or the rim of the back of the canvas where it's wrapped around there. And I'm letting that varnish really kind of flood in and settle there without letting it roll over the edges to create even more drips towards the front, which I'd have to make more repairs. So with the one little drip on top kind of pretty much gone, I'm able to go ahead and just let this dry off. And it does have still a raised edge along the edge, and that's completely okay. I'm alright with that, as long as it's not overly white or stands out too much. If I were to take this off the wall and look at the back of it, then I'm pretty much okay with that. So moving forward, I just want to make sure that I'm able to get just a nice smooth edge on the back portion of the canvas as I put that front and side layer of varnish on. And that way I don't have to worry about these drips coming over the edge. So I think that overall I was pretty successful with giving it a nice smooth layer. And don't forget that the very front of the canvas was absolute perfection, but just I had that one drip across the top that went towards the back of the canvas, and then the back was the part that had all of those drips and little raised portions on it. Here's what it looks like fully finished. Now if you want to check out the full length video for the varnish of this, then I will link that above here so you can check that out. Or if you want to check out the entire playlist, I will link that towards the end of this video. I hope y'all enjoyed this tips and tricks. It's something simple, but I was able to answer some of the questions that I had when I was varnishing this painting here. Would those drips dry clear? Yes, they did. They may be a little bit different with the matte, but otherwise you're also able to touch up with acrylic paints.